Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming out this morning. I really appreciate it. For those of you who don't know it, I'm pretty sure that's not anyone here. But my name is Tom Kraft, and today I'm announcing my candidacy for Congress in Minnesota's 2nd Congressional District. The reasons I'm running are quite simple. I'm running because Congress is not working. This isn't a newsflash to anyone, but what is newsworthy is that I plan to put an end to it, starting today. Our country faces great problems, real problems that need serious, dedicated leaders to solve. If we had that kind of leadership in Congress today, then we wouldn't be facing the mess that we're in. Since 2010, Congress has talked about creating more jobs and reforming the tax code. Have they? No. What have they done instead? Voted to repeal health care reform 38 times. They've stalled, stammered, and selfishly put political and party interests ahead of the rest of us. And so today I'm asking the 2nd Congressional District to join with me and help get rid of those in Congress who aren't doing their jobs. Help restore this country to greatness. I'm asking you to fire John Klein. That's the choice that we face. John Klein represents what's wrong with Washington. But don't take my word for it. Just look at his record. Ask yourself, has John Klein honestly followed through on his promises? Has John Klein helped govern, or has he stood in the way of reform because it made good politics? Sadly, all of us know the answer. Now, I realize it's easy to cast blame. It's easy to lash out in anger. What's hard, though, is to look to the future, 20 or 30 years from now, and wonder where our country's going to be if we continue down this path. Now, as a new parent, I'll be honest and say, before I became a dad, I used to think that we could limp along with this dysfunctional government. It may not get us what we want, but we'll get through. We'll slog it out. But if we're thinking long term, in 20 years, my son is going to be setting out into the world on his own. And I want him to have the same opportunities that I had in this country. I want him to achieve greatness in the greatest country on earth. I want America to be as great as its past and remain strong and prosperous for generations to come. Now, if I'm fortunate to serve the 2nd Congressional District as your next congressman, my goals are simple. I will do all that I can to restore integrity and accountability to Congress by minimizing the role of money in politics, ensuring that Congress once again represents the people that put them there, and working with all of you to ensure that we build an America that is better than the one we have today. But to do that, we first need to fire John Klein. If you think that John's doing a bang-up job, then I'm not your candidate. But if you see what I see, if you believe what I believe, then together we can create a Congress that this country deserves. Today, John Klein isn't interested in making this country better than it is today. He's more interested in bettering his political standing, bettering his political party. He looks at our democratic process as one big game. And to put it bluntly, that pisses me off. As someone who grew up loving this country, it frustrates me that we can't have better people in Congress. America's promise should live up to its exceptional calling. It should live up to the ideals that we know in our hearts to be true. That liberty is given to all people, justice is required of all mankind, and that prosperity, hard work, and compassion are what it takes to restore America's promise to its people. And if elected, I'll put everything on the table. Reform needs to happen now, and it needs to happen with the support of the people, not the lobbyists. The first piece of legislation I'll bring to the floor will give the American people a voice, to bring about a constitutional convention, so that we as a nation can discuss where we want to go with regard to issues such as personal privacy, money in politics, or presidential war powers. My second piece of legislation will help people achieve their full potential by taking an honest approach to job creation, offering retraining assistance, infrastructure projects, and investments in entrepreneurship and high-tech industries. Because nobody with a good idea or the will to work should be left out in the cold in the greatest nation on earth. And every step of the way, I'll do all that I can to manage our finances in a sustainable way. I'll take a fine-tooth comb to the budget and talk about it with all of you. Let you know what's going on so that together we can work for a better result and stop wasting people's money. Now, if at the end of this journey we look back and try to measure whether we accomplished what we set out to do, we'll know it. The talk you hear at your local VFW hall or at a backyard gathering barbecuing with your friends, we'll know it. Congress will no longer be the butt of jokes. Congress will be talked about with pride once again. Congress will have shown that it can live up to its potential if given the chance. And together we'll look back at this moment and we'll remember that it was us, all of us, that created the needed change to ensure that our government and America remains the greatest country on earth. My name is Tom Kraft. I'm running for Congress, and I'd be honored to have your support. Thank you.